With all of us on our journey, we will find that the ego is the problem. There comes a point when we must surrender. What is it we must surrender? It is the ego. It is that thing that says, I must do. I must learn this. I must succeed at that. I must. This is the problem. I must learn. Who is the I that must learn? It is nothing more than the words and the habitual behavior patterns in your mind. It is the mind that must give up. There is nothing to learn and everything to be. The I cannot learn. The I cannot learn. It can only gain words and repeat those words. That is all. Have you not noticed? You know already all the right words. Can you be that concept that you repeat? That is the issue. That is the issue. It is not the words. They are only words and are meaningless. They are the ego. They are the block. Surrender is a giving up. It is so simple to surrender. When it is time to give up, it is the greatest struggle of all. It is the absolute greatest battle on earth. It will be your last stand on earth. As an earth-bound creature, it is the ego. I, me. I must be the greatest. It is coming to humility. Only the humble can stand before the greatest force in this universe. Only the humble, not the I. Not the I. We are children. We have formed this ego as a child when we searched for ourselves. We searched for our identity. We did not find an identity. We created an identity. And we created a false identity by reason of our circumstance. The ego. We created something to protect us. The protector has now become so efficient, it keeps us from ourselves. It keeps us from being ourselves. The last battle is with the ego. What stands between you and I is your ego. The fight is between you, your ego, and I. But I don't want to. Of course you don't want to. You are focused in the ego. It says, I am strong, I must exist. And I say, no, it must go. It must go. If you apply what you have heard, it will go. Between you and I, we will succeed. Some of you have already had a taste. At some point, you were standing in a park or in the silence of your own room, and you saw for the first time the beauty of life, the beauty and the simplicity of just being. This cannot be there when the ego is present. Have you not noticed? There are dull days. There are days when there is no beauty. There are days when there is only dullness, grayness. I cannot remember the day. I cannot remember what has happened this day. It is because the ego was there, and like clouds on a cloudy day, blocked the sunshine from reaching the earth, and blocked you from reaching yourself. Blocked you from knowing the beauty of simply being a part of this wonderful experience. The ego, it must go. You're frightened. What is this man saying to me? Does he wish me to become a slave? Is this the new Jim Jones? No. This one wishes you to be free, to taste the awesome beauty of this life. I do not wish enslavement. You are already enslaved. You are already enslaved, and the slave master is the ego. You have become a victim of yourself. I only offer you freedom. I only offer you a continuation of what you have tasted. That is all. If you have worked with your technique, and you have worked with the principles, you have tasted, and you know what freedom is like. To become egoless, let us look at the facts. So far, what has your ego brought you? Anger, frustration, dependency, a false sense of worth. Is this the reward for your ego? Whether you lose the ego or not, it is meaningless to all others. It is meaningless to me. It is only meaningful to you. I ask the question, who suffers? Who is uptight? Who lay awake in your bed at night and worries about those things that you cannot change? Who is frustrated? You know the answer. What is it you want? We are afraid to become humble creatures. We are afraid because the world will crush us. It will crush us. What is the answer? You cannot stand to the world. You cannot stand against the tide. You can only go with the tide. That is all. To be free enough to choose. Now we have no choice. Our habitual ego patterns force us to stand. They force us to stand against an overwhelming force. And in standing against that overwhelming force, we are crushed. The ego. It stands between you and freedom. You have been doing your techniques. And I know if you have been doing those techniques, you have seen yourself and what you do. The question then is, I see it, but it has not changed. I see myself, I see those thoughts going through my head. What do I do now? I am not free. What is the next step? The next step is humility. There is no magic. It will come only with the proper action. Only with the proper action. It is like a chemical formula. If you do not carry out the steps prescribed, it cannot work. You must choose. What is it I want? And you cannot choose half peace. Half peace is not peace at all. It is like madness. You cannot be half mad. If there is one bit of madness within you, then you are mad. We must come to understand absolute. And we can only understand absolute in humility. Only when we are out of the way can what is real be. Only when what is thought of as me stands aside can the real me stand up. Only then. Only then. Only when the ego, the I, that stubbornness that wells within your chest and lodges itself within your throat, only when it is cast aside can the real you be found.